Don't be a cuck. Okay, well, 57. That was good. Good timing there. I bought a watch the other day, and I told the guy at the store that I would talk a bit about the watch on the stream. This is the watch. It's a Mido Ocean Star, but it's some kind of special edition Ocean Star.
Mido, M-E-E-T-O?
M-I-D-O. Swiss automatic. I don't have a watch. M-I-D-O. Mido. And a buddy of mine has been a big horology guy for 10 years now, minimum. And I've been bugging him kind of to start looking for one for me in the, I don't want to say how much I spent on it. You can look it up yourself, but it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't super expensive. And so I went to the visit with him and his guy at this place, Ocean Fine Jewelry in Burlington. I had so much fun there, Len. I love stores that really take care of their customers. There's 2 stores I can say now with confidence that if you want to get something that's really going to last you and you're going to spend a little more money on than maybe you would at a mall, but you're going to enjoy the experience, you're going to learn something, and you're going to really feel like you're the center of attention during the shopping experience. One of them is Miller's Shoes in downtown Hamilton on James Street, and the other one is Ocean Fine Jewelry in Burlington. So if you're ever looking for a watch and you're in the area, let me know, and I'll put you in touch with John over at Ocean Fine Jewelry. Awesome experience, man. I cannot stress enough how nice it is to go to a place and have someone actually understand what you're looking for, give you ideas and reference points and context and history. Like the history this guy knew about all the different watches. Awesome stuff. Really enjoyed it.
Don't forget, when you get the payment for the plug, half goes to me. Right?
I wish. We gotta get another sponsor. Who do we talk to about that?
I don't know, but this was an unsanctioned sponsor event.
And to be honest, we hardly ever do it. I just wanted to say, I told the guy, he's like, you should post this on your Instagram, and I said, well, I have a different idea, and I'm happy to do it. I really enjoyed, I think I was there for like an hour and a half trying on watches and learning about them, and it was good. It was really good. I worry now that I'm going to be obsessed with watches, but that's okay. I'll worry about that another time.
You're rich. You have 0.1 Bitcoin.
Yeah, I can retire, I heard. So
yeah.
I'm in spending mode now.
Yeah.
I see Boomer saying, I'm flashing my watch like a Somali daycare owner. Yeah. Is that in the notes? I don't think it's in the notes.
Well, we could just talk about that. It's an absolute... And the funny thing is, a lot of people are just unaware. Yeah. Waltz today decided to. He's
done. Yeah, he's done.
And why would his letter not want to run?
Len, his letter was basically that he can't run because he's got to focus on finding more fraud. What a clown.
That when there's been enough pillaging of what people are like, shit like this.
Yeah,
just hurts the common folk. Right. And just like the Z-Man getting the new economic advisor.
How much do you think it's related to, like, I see a lot of people saying it's about like race and immigration and stuff. Like, I think it is a little bit about that. There's probably a sore spot there for Minnesota.
No.
The immigration part, I think there is. I'll tell you why, and you tell me why I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
Because it's not about necessarily like the fraud. Okay. Even if the claim from Minnesota's state government is true, that these places are legitimate, they're watching kids, the funding is going toward daycare activities. The thing that I think I would be mad about is that the best case scenario, I tweeted this the other day, the best case scenario is that you have a bunch of Somali immigrants, 80% of whom are on welfare. Those are the numbers, okay? 80% are on welfare, opening daycares with government money and only watching other Somali kids whose parents are also on welfare. So the parents aren't working, but still can't watch their kids. And the daycares are only open to kids who immigrated to the United States and who are sucking on the public teat.
So
that's the best case scenario.
People are angry because of race or immigrants. Is that what you're
Immigration,
saying?
yeah. The people who are mad that, like, okay, Somalians are black. Like, okay, who cares? But like the immigrant thing should bother people, I think, because if that's the best case scenario, that's
people have been upset for years about what's happening with Ukraine.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very difficult to say the people in Ukraine are not white as fucking white.
Yeah, agreed.
So it's not
those people, I totally,
it's not, they're not even living in the United States. They're living in Ukraine. And people are upset at what's going on over there because there's a perceived level of corruption. This is not what I'm saying. You can read the reports about this pre-war, during war, and once the war is finished, this level of corruption is always going to be something that they have to tackle. It's an issue that's been, for whatever reason. Either way, what I'm trying to get at it, it's not an immigration issue. It's not a race issue, not a skin color issue. It's a fucking fraud problem. That's what it is. People are upset about fraud. Period. Whoever fucking does it, they're the people that become, I don't want to say public enemy number one, but they're the people that look at it and say, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
So that's my point of view. Anyways, that's fucking nuts what's going on in Minnesota. They changed the flag too.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is.
That guy could have if Tim Walz just wanted to be like a nobody politician and stay under the radar and just live a good life, probably could have won another election or two. All he had to do was not be the VP candidate and he would have been fine. But as soon as he became the VP candidate, I think that was part of it. As soon as he became the VP candidate and this other guy, like the mayor, Jacob Frey, who cannot help but like do Somali dances and speak Somalian during public, addresses. And like, you're just drawing too much attention to yourself. It's really that simple. And it's a lesson. There's a lesson in there somewhere. I don't know exactly what it is, but just when you got a good thing going, especially if it's a little bit of an illegal thing, don't go hard in the press. Everyone's seen by this point the amount of donations these daycares are making to to Democratic politicians too, and the party, and like,
I wonder if they're even making the Republican Party. They're hedging their best.
God, I don't know.
Right, it only makes sense if you want to do that. You play both sides, right?
Yeah, George Floyd was in Minnesota too. Tore up. I forgot about that in the chat. He's mentioning that. Yeah, the day he ascended to heaven really was a turning point for.
They're putting statues of him up some places, right?
The least they could do. St. George, come on.
Mm-hmm. Maduro.
Oh man,
I want to just interesting. This came all of a sudden. And there's
you think it came all of a sudden? How do you think he felt? I think he felt.
Well, what I want to know is
snatched him up in the middle of the night.
The U.S. went in with force, right? They didn't go in with just one person. They went in with some helicopters, some bombers, and everything. But from what I just don't understand is how could the United States enter into a country, into the capital of the country, and snag somebody with seemingly minimal damage? I know that some people died and but when you're getting the head of a state of some country, I expect more fighting, more resistance, right? It seemed like there was not much for whatever reason. It just seemed very odd that minimal damage was done. And this is with, I'm not trying to downplay a few people that die here, but not to the degree what I thought should have happened if you're going to go in and take somebody by force like this.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like they didn't want to keep him there. Did they just like open the doors and say, like, it just seemed odd. And another thing that's a little fucked up too, I found, is, do you see that hat he's wearing, that toque? It almost looks like, take a look at it, Joey. It almost looks like, to me, he went to Disneyland. He didn't go to Disneyland. There's no way he did. But the fucking hat looks funny to me. It looks like he's got 2 Mickey Mouse ears in it for whatever reason. And those flip-flops he has. It's like he's driving a fucking truck over here. Like, the guy, he was ill-prepared for this thing. Like, get some fucking shoes, man. Yeah. Get a better hat.
I like the swipe
with the Mickey Mouse.
I want to point out, Nick Carter wrote this too.
Oh yeah,
upending a government in the hemisphere is pretty standard fare for U.S. Like, it's sort of banal faux pas for them, and just because they haven't done it since like the 70s or 80s doesn't mean they're not thinking about doing it. And now
Noriega was the last one. Am I wrong?
Yeah, maybe. And now the stakes are quite high. Like there's clearly a scramble here for resources, allegiances, partnerships. And as that U.S. foreign policy doctrine said, a month or two ago, I still recommend people read that, or at least like ChatGPT a summary of it. It's only like 30 pages. It's pretty good. There's clearly a shift in the way the U.S. thinks about domestic foreign policy and quote unquote America first. And part of that America first strategy is we do not let our enemies plant flags in our hemisphere. Our enemies include foreign governments and ways of life and political systems antithetical to the American way of thinking. So this is in line, and it's been like this for a long, long time. Okay. Long time. I don't know how these like commies are marching in the street talking about we want Maduro back. Well, on TV, Venezuelans are celebrating the guy being removed from office, dragging statues of old dictators around. And now the new quote unquote government or his cronies are trying to arrest people who are complicit in the Nabbed. It's over for them, man. It's over.
A lot of this is probably people are professional protesters.
Oh yeah, big time. Of course, the left is full of those people. Yeah.
In Europe, I'm gonna guess in Spain, because there was some Venezuelan that was there, and he approached a protest, and he was talking to them in Spanish. So that's why I'm assuming this was in Spain. And he was asking them, "Are you Venezuelan?" "No." "Are you Venezuelan?" "No." Then somebody said, "Yeah, I'm from Venezuela." "Where?" "From Toros," and I forget what he said. He said, "Where from there?" He said he couldn't give the right answer. So he said, "You're not fucking Venezuelan." Essentially, what it is there's people out there. They're no blood relation, no connection whatsoever to Venezuela, but they're fucking protesting. They're professional protesters. Even here in Toronto, or I mean in Canada, in Toronto, they're doing protests outside the U.S. consulate. And again, the suspected that they're professional protesters, that they were the ones that were out there. No connection, no whatever, but they're doing their thing. And this happens all the time, right? Like, why? Like, why would you want to have him go back?
No.
Have things been great?
They've been going swimmingly. Been going swimmingly. Yeah.
People
Do you have
have
any
been
opinion on
leaving
this?
To go
Like
to different countries.
Yeah.
Because they can't get food to eat.
Yeah. I know.
The level of corruption that's happened over there, they have so much oil.
Unprecedented, man. Country was richer than Poland in 1990. And now Poland has an economy about the size of Japan, and Venezuela's in tatters.
When Chavez was there, one of the things that he did, he got rid of a lot of people that were in charge of like the oil shit and stuff. And then they left. They came to Canada because they brought that knowledge of dealing with heavy oil, like sour oil, to work Alberta, which is kind of the same type of thing. They lost that knowledge. They lost that expertise. And over time, it eroded their oil production. And now it's like they make up 4% of the world's exports for oil, where they have like half the world's or second most amount of oil sitting under their feet. Like it's just stupidity that they've done this. They enriched themselves at the expense of everybody else.
Yeah.
If you can say what you want about a socialist or a communist system, but if they did it right, if there was, it's easy to say, but if there's no corruption, they use the proceeds of oil to fund for medical care, to fund for schools, to fund for shit, to help people out. That could be a system somebody could look at and say, look, this is where it works. But clearly it never does work. It never does. It's always corruption. There's always something that comes out.
The people talking about, oh, this is going to be bad for Canadian oil. I happen to agree with that stance. I think the U.S. is built to refine oil that we have and also that Venezuela has. So there's that to consider. Although my understanding is that it's going to take a long time to get infrastructure online to get oil from Venezuela to the United States. So take all that with a grain of salt. But the point, still stands that clearly there is something over there that was rubbing them the wrong way. Now they're talking about Greenland. They're talking about Colombia. They're talking about all sorts of different regimes.
Cuba, Mexico.
They just don't like. I don't like this regime.
Think that's just saber rattling at this point.
It was saber rattling until Maduro started dancing on TV. And
the other ones are not going to do that
rattling anymore. Well, they're certainly not going to do it now, but that bar may become lower if they decide.
The governor of Greenland, I'm not sure who the fucking.
I need to find out. We're open. Call us. We're open.
But like I said, the guy's always traveling. Yeah, so it's impossible to get him. So we're safe.
Need Barron's cell phone number. That's who we got to be calling for foreign policy action. Anyway, where do you want to go next?
I want to talk about in Canada. Well, the 70,000 Canada dental care plan claims that were found.
Do you want to talk? Let's talk about the asylum claims first.
Oh,
since
okay.
It's in the title of the show. Yeah.
All right. So what do we got here? It's over 500,000 asylum claims just waiting to be heard. 504,000 to be specific. And we have so many cases that are just waiting to be heard. It takes quite a while to hear this. The system is set up for a limited amount of asylum claims. That's why the backlog continues to grow, because it's not set up to deal with so many cases. They weren't expecting this, but the people that are here that want to stay here, they came here as temporary foreign workers. They came here as students. They came here as visitors. They see here, they want to stay here. So the one way they could do it is stay here is to claim for a refugee, make an asylum claim. And so they're just waiting to be heard. And this number is probably going to grow. 504,000 is what we have here, because in 2026, I was reading 1 million people are going to lose status this year.
Yeah. So, I mean,
so they're going to have to,
where are they going to go? Is the question.
Right.
Are they leaving, or they're just going to go underground? I don't know.
You're going to expect a few of them to go back, or a lot of them to go back. I don't know. But some of them are probably going to try to remain here to put an asylum claim. And it's just, when you do that, they're eligible for healthcare coverage.
Yep.
They're eligible. There's a few things they're eligible for. And, 504,000 out of 40 million, that's measurable, right? And that number is going to grow. Whatever.
People who put in claims today, when they get heard?
3 years is my guess.
2030. So,
and in the past, what was it?
That's a good question. I don't know, but I do know that if we look at the historical trends, in 2022 we had 54,000 asylum claims, and then in 25, obviously 500,000. So quite a bit. Even if you just look at the first half of 25, 750 or 7,500 claims filed in May, 8,000 filed in June, and then in July a rip up to almost 12,000 in the same month. So, we've obviously seen this story. So there's really two or three factors, right? One is that people who are being sent home are saying that their asylum claims, they can't go back home because they're, suddenly gay or something, like obviously bullshit. There's other people who are committing crimes here and we're trying to deport them, and they're being sent to asylum court instead after claims. These guys out west just went through that. They tried to kidnap somebody, or did kidnap somebody successfully, and ended up filing asylum claims instead of being prosecuted. So there's that. And then, of course, people who just don't want to leave. Like, they don't want to go back home, and they say, well, I'm an asylum claimant now, so you can't get rid of me. And it basically, at this point, buys them another 4 years. Now, you'll remember that Carney, when he was elected, did pass a law, or they are working on a law now, that allows for the broad and immediate rejection of all asylum claims. They can basically reset everything if they want. And if you look on Reddit, some of these like LMIA subreddits and immigration subreddits and asylum subreddits, people are screeching about this, mostly Indians, talking about how it's not fair. I tried to plan my life in Canada. Like, I have no sympathy for these people. I don't want them here. We don't need more immigration, certainly not from those countries. If Western Europe wants to immigrate here, sure. Even if Eastern Europeans want to immigrate here, sure. But like, we can't have more people from India and Africa. Unfortunately, there's too many over the last few years. We have to start doing some demographic splitting, because there are enclaves forming all over the country. Every week we talk about some guy from Brampton who invariably is Indian doing something stupid and or criminal, for laughs. This didn't happen 10 or 15 years ago, right? And one of the problems is that we've been unable to talk about this because of political norms, but that Overton window is blown wide open now, and everyone should be talking about it. I don't know about you, but I'll share a story. Over the new year, we had a little one's, like a kid's party, a fake ball drop for 7 p.m. And so I had all my friends here with their kids from 3 to 7. That was the topic of conversation. That was unthinkable for that friend group 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And now everyone's talking about it. And that tells me that people are tired of this. So I expect to see that negative attitude toward immigration continue. And I don't think a lot of people are going to have patience for asylum.
You saw that video from Pierre Polyev?
Yeah,
at
of
the
course.
gym?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that it's enough. Nothing more to say about that. So in terms of Carney talking about to expedite some of this stuff, it may happen. Keep in mind, we also have this, what is it, a safe third country thing? You know, like if you're somebody,
you can't go through a safe country to get to a third country.
So the one that
by the
came
way,
up recently was the guy from Haiti.
Yeah, but look, man, the top countries in the first half of 2025, number 5 on the list is USA.
Okay.
So, like, you got to wonder where those people are coming from. Anyway, continue.
Well,
it's an interesting thing.
There was people that were originally from Haiti. They went to United States. They were there, I think, New York State, and they crossed into Quebec. I'm guessing that's what it was. Either way, they crossed into Quebec. I don't know if it was from New York. And now their asylum claim is being heard here. But no, the way I understand this, though, because they were in the United States, why didn't they make their claim there? Like, that's a country that should have heard their claim. Right.
The U.S. doesn't care. They don't want.
They
those
may
people.
not care, but Canada has to say, "Look, you could have done it. You could have made a claim there." And
we don't have the clout to say it. Well, so and our country, our politicians are reliant on this, this ethos of compassion at the cost of basically everything: culture, economics, you name it.
So to go back to the expediting the backlog of claims, I don't think it's going to happen, right? I think
I don't think so either. I think you're right.
Between what we see that's transpired since the election and the official opposition, what he's posting, I don't know. I think it's going to be good times moving forward, man.
Yeah.
Right? And there's okay. You know what? I want to talk about something interesting too. This is a good one, Joey. This TTC, they painted the road and they were trying to identify priority streetcar lanes in the city of Toronto.
Okay.
And they did this November. They started painting it. The fucking paint is already peeling off the roads. Right? Like within just a matter of less than 2 months. And they're saying at Bathurst and Niagara streets, if you look at the pictures, just huge amounts of paint just ripped off. And they say decay was caused because of contaminated surfaces such as road salt, which they say can prevent the paint from properly adhering to the pavement.
In November. Shocker.
They also add that the cold temperature and the freeze-thaw cycles could cause cracking. I can't believe this happened in Toronto. And the snowplows may catch and raise any edges, resulting in the paint being lifted. And they say any worn pavement will be addressed in spring of 2026 and completed during the warmer weather. So, like, let's be honest. It snows here, right? Like, no matter what you say about this being the warmest year on record, it fucking snows. Yeah. And the snow, you have to deal with it. Either you fucking just let it sit there and people just get into accidents because they don't know how to fucking drive, or you get the fucking salt out, you get the snow plows out, and you do some damage to the road. This has to happen. I can't believe they're fucking doing this. It's priorities, the lanes, they have to paint the shit. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, the amount of money that is being wasted on this. It could be spent on somebody getting some food, shelter, a job. Mm-hmm. There's so much more it could be, but no, they had to put it on this. Whatever.
We love spending money. Toronto. D's laughs in the chat saying that there was no warning they were going to do it. It's confusing, and of course, the immigrant angle. They don't know the rules, don't care about the rules, whatever, and they're driving all over the place. So let's, if you think about. Not only the cost of the taxpayers for the shutdown and the contract and the work and all that, now you're gonna have to do it twice. And then what is the GDP cost, the man-hour cost for the extra traffic, slowdowns? It's incalculable how much money is actually lost on something like this. And
but they like to look at that broken window
twice.
And they say we got to replace that paint.
Yeah. Sure, I know.
Benefit. I got a beauty of a story here, Joy.
I'm sure.
From City News, they say that an Air India pilot was arrested at a Vancouver International Airport, or at the Vancouver International Airport last week because he was preparing for flight. So the pilot was preparing to get on the plane, and Transport Canada, they said no because they got some complaints, some intel. Apparently, the guy was consuming alcohol. Yeah, so the pilot was preparing to take the Air India flight as scheduled from Vancouver to Delhi, and they put the kibosh to that. They
Just had a couple beers.
Had a little bit too much to drink, and so yeah, that plane was scheduled to depart at 3 p.m. It didn't leave till 10 o'clock that night.
Nice.
So 7 hours late.
Nice.
They found somebody else that could fly that sucker.
He just gave maybe they just gave him a cup of coffee. It could have been the same guy.
So 7 hours, yeah. So yeah, they were given some information from the flight attendants over there, and Transport Canada got the wind that something happened. This shit, I can't believe this stuff happens. You know, like you're dealing with people's lives, and
yeah.
there is no like rewind a tape here and fucking fix it. This is it. I can't believe this shit happens. Like, why can't
you believe it? Why can't you believe that culture doesn't have a good grasp on certain things?
It's not the culture. I'm just looking at the level of authority you have, the responsibility one has as a fucking pilot, like flying a fucking plane. But I guess not everybody sees it the same. And I'm not a fucking pilot, but
no. Isn't there two pilots in the cockpit? I think there is, right?
Yeah, there's what the fuck?
Co-pilot
or something?
Yeah. Intern. I don't know.
No.
People who drink. Like if you are a drinker, okay, there are certain careers you cannot occupy. You know, truck heavy equipment, trucks, like whatever. Airplanes got to be among them. So this is what people are talking about too, by the way, when they say like, I don't want to get on a plane. There's a competency crisis. Yeah, this is a good example of that. I also am more and more reluctant to fly, certainly internationally. I could be convinced to fly domestically, of course, but internationally, no, I don't think so, man. You're gonna have to do some convincing. Anything outside Canada and the US, it's gonna be a tough sell.
And you're stuck within those two borders for the remainder of your life, Joey.
Yeah,
you gotta live a little. Roll the dice. Let's talk about this other great story from CP24. It says that GTA residents believe crime is surging.
Yeah,
when it's actually the opposite.
This is amazing stuff here. Amazing stuff.
There was a survey that came out, and it said that nearly 3/4 of Torontonians said that they were under the impression that murders are up in the community and across the country. And they say despite a historic drop of more than 50% from last year. In fact, Peel police say that they've reported only 10 homicides through October 2025 compared to 19 in 2024. And over in York regions, murders were down by about 67%. And I see this number. It reminds me of a Simpsons. I'm going to play it for you. There's a Simpsons episode. Let me just get it.
900%. Oh, people can come up with... Mr. Simpson, how do you respond to the charge that petty vandalism, such as graffiti, is down 80%, while heavy sack beatings are up a shocking 900%?
Oh, people can come up with statistics to prove anything can't. 40% of all people know that.
It's very applicable here. You know, the sure, murders may be down. Maybe they do better at treating gunshots and stab wounds and everything just because of
That's right.
experience, right?
That's right. Yeah.
But other things, man.
Super selective data set there. Absolutely insane.
People are blocking cars so they won't get stolen. People's houses are being broken into. The Toronto police was saying, please leave your shit at the front door, the keys to the front door, so that way they get easier access to it. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. It's not exactly what they said. And another one was when they don't engage the people breaking into homes, just let them do their thing. I'm paraphrasing here. Like, this is not a society that's trending in the right direction. It's trending obviously in the wrong direction. Just today, somebody was shot taking the GO bus in Toronto near Yorkdale.
Yep.
I guess things are getting better.
I think there's two things. Okay, so let's pretend. I'll give you the two sort of sides to the coin I'm thinking of here. I think the data being collected is leaving room for interpretation. Okay. Murders, my understanding, are only reported as murders in the data where there is a suspect. Okay. That's number one. So if there's no suspect, doesn't get reported. Now, I don't know how many that is, but it's not zero. That's one problem. Petty crime like theft is not going to get reported. I don't need to go to the police if my phone gets stolen. I just go to Apple. They lock the phone. They give me a new one. There's no point in going to the police, especially when it's going to cost me time, inconvenience, and what is the likely outcome in 99.99% of cases? You fill out paperwork, they put it in a drawer, and then they forget about it, right? Okay. The other thing I think is going on is that there is I think a bit of a difference between crime, what you and I perceive as criminal, or what some people perceive as criminal, and public disorder, drugs, alcohol, abuse, vagrants, screaming, public conflict, public fights, stuff like that. That doesn't get captured in crime data, but these are invariably causing some of the same problems. They're making certain parts of the city intolerable to walk through, intolerable to live, intolerable to do business or open a business or go to school or raise a family, blah, blah, blah. So public disorder, is not reported anywhere, but there are entire parts of the city where nobody goes because they're basically too dangerous, right? So what you're doing is preventing crime by not letting people go to huge chunks of an area in which they live. Is that really lower crime? I guess the data would say that, but in terms of the output and the effect, not really. Public disorder means something. And I don't think that the police, when the police ask for their budget increase every year, 7%, 11%, I can't remember what the Hamilton police were looking for, somewhere around there this year. People in city council will say, hey, crime is down. Any sensible person would say, yeah, but there's more and more parts of the city you can't go to after dark. Like you can't go in Hamilton, you can't go to Jackson Square. Increasingly, you shouldn't be in Limeridge Mall, Eastgate, any of these places, down by the Coliseum, down by the stadium. It's just too dangerous. Anywhere past Barton Street, like you can't go there. You decide what that's worth to you as a city. If it's worth looking into giving the police more money to prevent that kind of thing from continuing to proliferate, then yeah, you should do it. But it's really something to me that people who are using this, because this is really what's going on, right? If you look on Twitter, the feedback is always the same. It's always the dyed-in-the-wool commies and libs talking about this. We can't give the police more money. They're not doing their job, or crime is down. We don't need to give them more money. Like, you're missing the point. Policing, you get mad because policing has become reactive. If you want to become preventative and stop some of these things that are happening, you need to increase budgets. And I realize it's not quite the meat of the story, but there is something to be said for this dichotomy or this like distinction between public disorder and crime, and whether or not those things pragmatically are the same for the people who can't enjoy the city that they live in.
Mm-hmm. I grew up in an area of Toronto which is now rough. When we first moved there, where is it? I don't want to even say it. Okay. It was not rough. It was actually a decent place. And in just 10, 15 years, I witnessed very quickly how things went downhill. And it was in a very small section of Toronto that it happened. But I see this now happening on a larger scale. That's why when I say, prepare to GTFO, it's because what I experienced, I'm experiencing again. And now it's just happening everywhere. And you can, if you want, pick up and go to a faraway place within Ontario or wherever. But if that's your jam, all the more power to you. But it's not mine, right? So like I'm just trying to just tell people out there, find alternatives, find something else out there that this is not the only place you're forced to be. Yeah, you have mobility, and if there's somewhere that is better, that's better for you, better for your family, better for your job, better for everything. Why not explore it? You're not stuck here.
No, you're not. There's one other thing I wanted to point out, that it's funny, the media is reporting on crime being low, but if you look in both Toronto and Hamilton, for voters, the number one issue is crime. So again, like, you're being told to kind of ignore what you see and what you're experiencing in favor of this data point that's, admittedly they've massaged this over the years. Admittedly, people are not reporting crimes. Admittedly, public disorder is causing problems. To me, it's very convenient that the messaging is like really universal from a lot of these major metros over the last, I don't know, what, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. You've seen these stories come out one after another. I guess because the end of the year reports are coming in from police departments, right?
Yeah, but just the general feeling, right? You want to raise a family. You want your family to walk out and, in the daytime, even, the evening without having any fear. You want to have your car out there and not get stolen. Like, not that long ago over here, my neighbor would leave his motorcycle with his key in it. He's like, he's gonna fucking take it. Nobody to take it, right?
I left my keys in my car for like 4 days over the break when I was busy at home, and nothing happened. I couldn't find them. I thought I had like left them in my pants or something, and they were actually in the front seat of my car.
Yeah. That's nice. Anyways, let's talk about.
Should we go to Hamilton, Brampton? We're over an hour and a half.
Where I want to go.
Yeah, okay. Let's rip it. Brought to you by our friends at 256 Heat. Tuan made us a mean steak at his place last week. Sorry you guys couldn't be there. Your invite got lost in the mail. But like I was saying in the intro, he is working on some crazy shit. There's a new unit configuration coming that I won't share. I'll let him share it at some point when he wants to talk about it. He can come on or he can tweet it or whatever. But my S19 is running right now. You can't hear it. And I promise you that the stuff coming from his garage and basement is going to be even quieter with even more firepower than what I have about, 8.5 feet, 8 feet away from me right now. So if you haven't bought one yet, go to 256 Heat, get on the phone with Tuan, send him an email, whatever. He doesn't have prices on his website, because he wants to make sure that what you get is what you need. What he doesn't want us to ship you something and then you say, this isn't what I'm looking for. We have sold a ton of these things, and everyone that sees these things in action loves them. You are missing out if you don't have one. Call this guy and get started mining ASAP.
All right. So I have 2 stories sticking with the bread and butter Hamilton versus Brampton man. Now, I do want to apologize for one of the stories. It's not a lengthy one. I got it from X. I follow a lot of the police services, and that's what I was. I do this with hopes of getting a story, and finally I'm able to get a story, and I finally did. So it's not something I was able to find on like CP24 or CBC. It was essentially an X post, so that's why it's rather short, but it gives the gist of what's going on, and it's pretty funny. Anyways. You got to guess which one it is. Is the Hamilton or the Brampton guy? So just this past New Year's at approximately 11:20, police began receiving multiple calls about a pickup truck driving on 3 wheels with sparks on the highway. The truck was stopped.
Cut it now. I already know. Go ahead.
47-year-old male driver was arrested for impaired driving and subsequently registered over 2 times the legal limit. He was fucking drunk.
Was he driving home from the airport? Anyway, continue.
Furthermore, the investigation revealed his license has been suspended since 2001. So the dude was driving for 24 fucking years. Actually, no, it was 23 years and a bit, because it wasn't officially 24 years. It was New Year's Eve. And he was driving without a fucking license for almost 24 fucking years. Lit. What got him? He didn't fucking put the spare tire on. He was driving with just 3 wheels.
Damn.
So that's story number 1. Story number 2, this man faces over 160 charges for fraudulent car sales through Service Ontario.
Ooh.
And so they did an investigation, MTO, and this was an unlicensed car dealer and broker who allegedly facilitated the fraudulent sale and transfer of vehicles. That's what police are saying. So between June 2023 and early 2024, the accused made fraudulent transactions through the Ministry of Transportation and Service Ontario involving over 100 vehicles. And 24-year-old, he used loopholes in Service Ontario practices that allowed authorized individuals to conduct third-party transactions with vehicles. So these include registering a vehicle, replacing a permit, changing its color, obtaining a UVIP, transferring a permit, replacing a license plate, and paying a fine. And registered vehicles They were as third party, and they've been identified as revinned vehicles too, Joey. So they were essentially stolen, revinned with a new VIN, and passed to be legitimate. The guy is facing 168 charges for uttering forged documents and trafficking of stolen goods. And family and others close to him could be connected for the crime as well. So those are the 2 stories.
Yeah, the second guy's the Brampton man.
You know what? He is definitely the Brampton man. But I got rid of the link. I'm going to see if I could find it. It's not what you think. Wait a second. Yes.
The family ties tell me he's that I'd be leaning Brampton. When you said his family was also involved, or could be involved.
I sent it in the private chat. You can see the picture of the dude. Milton Hilton.
Milton Hilton. Killer name. Yeah, love that for him.
Pull it up. Pull up the picture.
You want me to pull it up?
No, it's in the private chat. For you
I see it. Do you want me to put it on the
No,
screen?
I wouldn't post
okay. Right.
It's just Milton Hilton.
There we go.
So yeah, you're correct. So the guy from Hamilton was driving around on a QEW caught in St. Catharines.
Wow.
So he traveled all the way from fucking Hamilton to St. Catharines on fucking 3 wheels.
That's crazy.
How
did he get away with that?
It's a long fucking time, man.
Oh, shit.
And
that's
24 years.
A well-patrolled stretch of highway too, because that's a 110 limit now. Guys are always flying down that highway.
But it's New Year's. People are shooting out fucking Roman candles from the cars, and people thought this was just a regular day.
He was just celebrating. Right? He was just celebrating.
Celebrating with just 3 tires and no fucking license for 24 years. This man obviously didn't have insurance. Legend. We kind of know somebody that I don't want to go there.
We do?
We'll talk about it offline.
Okay. All right. That's it, everyone. God bless. No interview this week. I think I'll probably try and schedule one next week, though, for your listening pleasure. So we will see you guys on Monday for this show, but Access of Easy comes out on Friday if you want to listen to that. We also record that, obviously. So until next time, take care of yourselves.
And put on a spare tire, for God's sakes.